Hello, welcome to a brand new podcast. I'm Adam, that's Joe,
Whoa.
and that's Cam, and this podcast is all about someone's dream trip to the cinema.
Yeah, clap for us, Adam. I've never seen. Why are you so angry about that?
Just had little balancing involved.
I hope that doesn't look dodgy.
I can tell you're spooked by this chair.
This check. Well, I don't know if yours are doing it. Is anyone else?
Of course, it's everyone else.
I don't know.
You've not just picked the wrong chair.
I'm the only one that's moving. I feel like if I make a slight wrong movement, it's that.
Give us the two options. That's one. That's too relaxed for me.
Yeah, and then otherwise, it's just.
I can't talk to you if you're like that at the start.
Yeah,
like,
for me to talk to
Joe.
Joe.
We're all right. We're having a good time.
Well, the natural instinct is just to go like that. If you've got it there, you've got to use it, haven't you?
Why don't all three of us go like this? Go, Cam.
It's going to look like a DFS advert. The only problem being with filming in a cinema, traditionally the seats aren't set up for people to talk to each other.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So there's a lot of this.
Yeah, it's one of the key rules.
You don't have to do it.
We're breaking the one cardinal rule of being in the cinema.
Normally, when you have a podcast, you have an idea of what it is and a name. They're two general rules that you need. Now, we've got an idea of what the podcast is.
Great idea.
But we've not got a name.
Do you want me to quickly run through the idea?
Yeah, go on.
Right, so the idea is that we get special guests on that screen there, and we run them through their perfect night at the cinema. If we're a podcast, what rating are we? I don't mind swearing me. I won't mind an F and a Jeff.
Yeah, I think
She's 15, innit?
Yeah.
Well, there's no nudity.
Oh, just see you later, mate.
You ruled that. Why have you ruled that out so soon?
Well, do you want to get nude?
No, I'm just saying. Like, I think at this point, we've not got a name. There's no point starting ruling things out when we don't even.
Yeah, that's true. So I think we're bang on a 15. What do you
15,
think?
I think.
15.
Yeah.
Let's not go with that for a name, but for a rating, that's
We're
fine.
50.
Here we go. Right, can we do this? That'll do, pig. That'll do. What can we do with that one? That'll do, podcast. That'll do. That'll do, podcast isn't bad.
What, the That'll Do podcast?
Let's put a pin in it.
From Bay.
Keep going. Let's put a pin in it.
Oh. Right, you talking to me? It's a good one, that.
Yeah,
That's taken.
I think
Gotta
it's
be
must
taken.
be,
That.
must be.
Yeah, I'd be stunned if someone's not taken that already.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
The name's podcast.
No, I don't think I do.
Podcast.
When you try and show on the word podcast into it, you do end up losing the actual sight of the original quote sometimes.
Yeah,
you don't actually know what it
I know
means.
what I mean. Here's one. Terminator 2. Hasta la vista. Podcast. Hey, that's a winner so far,
it's not
isn't
bad.
it? Hasta la
It's not
vista.
bad.
Podcast has nothing to do with the Terminator.
I am your father.
There's not going to be a big twist in the end, is there? Where there's a picture of you with my mother from 1996.
I'll have a podcast. Shaken, not stirred.
It's a bit wordy still.
E.T. phone home. Can we do anything with that?
Podcast phone home.
Do any of us have really long fingers so we can market this?
Yeah, your mum know.
Oh, come on,
It's
mate.
cheap shot.
I've got it.
Go on.
Houston, we have a podcast. My Precious, Lord of the Rings, Two Towers.
I know what you're going to say, my podcast. But
It
it's just
doesn't
sense it's crazy.
But if you say it like,
Oh,
mate,
I've
We
actually,
have to say it every single time we address it.
one of us has to take the burden and do the rest of it with a really sore voice from doing it every week.
Jaws, 1975.
We're going to need a bigger podcast.
We're
a
gonna
podcast.
need a bigger podcast.
I think we're getting quite bogged down on just using the word podcast here as well. We've not actually thought of any other word to put into the title.
We're gonna need a bigger pod.
We're gonna need a bigger pod. It's not bad. Do you know when you said it? Then your eyes, mate.
You can't say no to his little eyebrow raise, can you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I Am Your Podcast has been the best we had so far. So when I heard that, I was like, wow, this is unbelievable.
I think I've got it.
You've said this for the past 5 quotes.
My mama always says life was like a box of podcasts. Son, this is number 1. May the force be with you.
Are you surprised?
Oh,
One of the biggest
Is it
film
really?
series of all time.
But number 1.
Why not?
Number 1.
What was you?
Probably that.
What else have we got here? Think about it. We've got a screen. Big screen. Screen time. What else? Film.
Big screen.
No, what? Big screen cast. We can take the word pod off podcast. Or something like the cat. What else can we have?
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Has someone had Castaway?
Podcast away.
And we have a little Wilson Ball.
If I put my hair down, I can look like Tom Cruise. Tom Hanks in that film.
Because that's the problem. Some of them are taken. What was your one yesterday?
Are we rolling?
Are we rolling's taken by some American marketing firm? God.
See, I like the idea of
loaded since July.
Yeah, he's done.
Why don't we just call it Austin Powers 2, the podcast who shagged me, and we'll just go with that.
Sweet or salted podcast?
Sweet or salted?
What about pictures?
Oh,
Like you said, the pictures.
Pictures podcast.
Go into the pictures with such.
Go into the pictures.
They
go into the pictures podcast. I mean, it's wordy.
Yeah, it is.
Trip to the pictures.
Send her anyone.
It sounds like a Cliff Richard album, Joe.
Trip to the pictures podcast.
It sounds like a Cliff Richard album if you don't stick podcast on the back of it.
I peaked.
We're going to Southport, we're going the pictures, we'll have a go later on
you
the
get us
penny
fucking
arcade.
copyrighted from Cliff Richard here. For some reason I really need a poo right about now. Might have to pause this.
Put one of the best suggestions I've had all day.
Shh. Podcast.
The
Simple.
Shhcast. Is everyone in the cinema?
Welcome to the cast.
That Pictures podcast, guys. I've just thought of it. Top of my head.
Go on.
I like it.
Do you like
Might
it?
as well.
That Pictures podcast. It's catchy.
Yeah.
I've said it about 4 times. I still can enjoy saying it. That Pictures podcast.
I don't think the American market might be spooked because I don't think that they don't really call it pictures, do they?
They'll get over it.
Yeah.
This fella's thinking about making Jump Over the Water.
I
We've only got
know,
one
he's
street,
lost.
Stockport.
Broke America yet? That Pictures podcast.
No, I like it. I think it's good.
Right. That's
I
what
like
we're going to go for. We're going to go
at the
for
minute,
it.
that's definitely our best one.
You can say to your mates, have you seen that Pictures podcast? And you will.
And you will.
Or there'll be trouble.
That Pictures podcast. Let's do it.
Love it.
Let's do it, man.